20 seconds left. Now you've got a 3-game losing streak. What has changed in this last week that you're sitting here right now where you are?
To me, you ask me, it's basketball. Teams go on runs and teams lose. You just got to figure out what to do during that time of adversity. And, to me, I feel like this is our first time facing adversity, so it should be good for us, to learn how to get up out of this and to really just stick together as a team.
Yeah, piggyback off of that, we played 3 good teams in the last 3 games, so we give credit to all of them, but obviously there's some things we got to fix internally. Get ready to go beat a good records team up there.
Can you give an example of what sort of things you feel need fixed?
I mean, I think they kind of speak for himself. Our offense wasn't clicking today. Just from the jump, we didn't really seem like we wanted to play or be out there. So just energy, just being in tune with the task at hand.
That final defensive possession for you guys before the game-winning free throw, what did you guys see on that, and did you think it was a clean block from Bruce?
Me personally, to me, it doesn't really seem too much to matter about, what I think personally. The refs called a foul, and, that's just what it is. We got to figure out how to not get it to that point. We shouldn't have to wait to put in the refs' hands last possession of the game. So we got to figure out everything we can do better before that moment.
Sean, fans will hear you say you played 3 good teams, and they'll say Maryland had lost 5 in a row, and this team had lost 4 in a row, winless in the Big Ten. And they really won't like hearing that you didn't have energy to play. So can you flesh out those 2 observations on your part?
Yeah, sure they're not going to like hearing it, but it's the truth of the matter. We just came out flat today. They kind of punched us in the mouth. It's a quick turnaround. Obviously, we go to Rutgers. Got practices here soon to prepare and get ready for it. Good news is those things are easy to fix. It's not like we got to do a whole bunch of stuff in practice. So there's some pros and cons to it, but definitely, we're going to figure it out here soon.
Minnesota had a lot of good looks in the first half, especially. It looked like you guys eventually switched to a zone at one point. What was going on spacing-wise, and why did they have so much space to shoot, particularly in that first half?
Yeah, I think, like I said, defensively we just kind of had some lapses. Losing our man and maybe ball watching a little bit. And they got a lot of good looks. They hit a lot of them too. They shot it really well tonight. It's tough to when you let teams get going like that, it's tough to kind of to come back from it.
Early in the year, you guys talked about having a number of guys that put the ball in the basket. Bryce is struggling early. I think Bruce was the first guy to hit double digits into the second half. I know you said things weren't going well, but when Bryce doesn't get to his 22, 21 points, what do the rest of you need to do to get that offense going earlier?
I think it's just playing together. Honestly, I don't think we did that well tonight. Offense spoke for itself. It's one of the things we talked about in the locker room post-game was the offense has got to be better. Defense has got to be a lot better too. It wasn't just one side of the ball. Offensively, we shouldn't have to rely on Bryce to go get 25 every night. We got too many good players on this team that can score the ball. Like I said, we'll get it figured out.
You mentioned the defensive side of things. Numbers-wise, you guys haven't been great defensively, but tonight it seemed to stand out even more. What has to happen? I know you're playing a lot of young guys and whatnot, but what has to happen to improve defensively to when nights are like this, when you aren't scoring, you can still get a win on the defense?
To be honest, we got to really lock in on that part of games. We can't win allowing people to score 70 points, 75 points. I think this game was 70. Last game on, I think it was 70, 80, something like, And we've got a few wins, outscoring teams. But, whenever you get to this Big Ten, and night after night, you're playing against talented teams, you got to get stops. So, I feel like a lot of it comes from our rebounding, sort of a sense. But, that's something we can get better at, something that we need to get better at if we want to be the team that we want to be. So, our initial defense, to me, I feel like it's pretty good. I don't feel like it's something to panic about. But, just rebounding and staying locked in, for how long we out there on the defensive side. But, yeah, that's something we definitely got to pick up.
You guys trailed for the majority of the game. You did, I think, briefly take the lead there in the second half, and then they put together a 10-0 run. What are you guys learning about yourselves in those moments? What is this team still trying to figure out? When you do get some momentum, you take a lead, and then you allow the 10-0 run there. What are you still learning in those moments?
Yeah, I think, as soon as we got over the hump there, I mean, as far as it goes for this game, as soon as we got over the hump, that's when we got to man up and cut the water off. We can't let them, see the light of day again as far as taking the lead. But I mean, it's just one stop after another. We can't. If they come down and score, then that play's done. We got to focus on, okay, we're going to go get a bucket, and then we're going to go get a stop, and then do that for multiple possessions. That's how we kind of look at it. Play games in 4-minute spurts. I think it's just playing present. Sometimes we might get too caught up on, I let my man score this last possession, or we gave up 2 buckets in a row, so our confidence is low on the defensive end. But all really easy and fixable things.
Both of you played a decent amount of basketball in your career at college level, so you got some experience. When you're a young player, can how a loss happens kind of impact your psyche if it happens over and over again? If you guys get what I'm saying.
As a young player, it depends, and it's just natural. They don't do it on purpose, but, as a young player, it's more tending to how you did. I know when I was young, of course a loss hurt, but, I was more into how I did personally, did I do good for my team? Did I not do good enough for my team, And so right now, that's kind of where it's at for the young guys, but, we got so many good guys, sometimes you just got to go over to them and just tell them, hey, focus on, the task at hand. And so, those guys, they'll come back here tomorrow and get into the gym and see how they can help the team be better and themselves individually too. So, it does mess with you, on the psych part of things, but at the same time, whenever you just got so much leadership around and great guys around, that's what they're there for.
One more here. As older guys on this team, as leaders on this team, what will you guys do in the next 2-3 days to those things that you talk about that are correctable and things that can be fixed? What will you guys each do to try to turn this around before you go to Rutgers?
Yeah, obviously we have a short turnaround, so we can't sulk on this one. We got a short time to sulk on this one. But obviously we want to, figure out what we did wrong, and there was a decent amount of mistakes that we made. Give credit to them; they're a really good team, but we didn't play up to our standards tonight of basketball, offensively or defensively. So we'll go back, watch a lot of film, but they really just prepare. Take the time. That's reasonable to figure out how to get better from this loss, and then focus on winning the Rutgers.
You can repeat the question one more time.
Sure. As a leader on this team, what will you do between now and Rutgers to try to address some of these issues you both said are fixable and correctable? What will you do these next few days?
Me personally, I'll just try to meet coach standard, whatever it is the next tomorrow when we got practice. I feel like they gonna, not necessarily raise the standard because we haven't even met the standard that they have yet, but they're gonna demand us to meet their standard. And I feel like as long as everybody on the team is up for that challenge, then everything will fix itself. So that's just all I'm looking forward to.